What's going on today, you guys? So, a bit of a crazy episode this week. I dislocated my left shoulder pretty bad mountain biking. Let's get right into the story. Today we are talking about my shoulder. Unfortunately, I was mountain biking just about a week ago, on May 30th to be exact, and I was taking a berm pretty quick. This was my third run. I'd already done a ton of climbing that day. I'm not even really sure how it happened. The berm was a little muddy, so I think my front wheels slid out, went over the bars, landed right into a wall, right on my left shoulder, and immediately I knew I dislocated it. It was all the way out down here, but I got up off the ground and it popped right back in by itself. And it actually felt fine. I rode all the way back down. I had a pretty big gash right here on my chest because the handlebar went right into my chest. That's right where I landed, so my ribs were all bruised. I thought I might have broken a rib, but luckily I didn't. I just bruised them really bad all down here. And I had pretty big gashes on my knees and on my shins from pedals. So it was a pretty rough crash, but I thought I was fine. Until later that night, my shoulder really started to hurt. Basically, any movement was really hurting. So I actually know an orthopedic surgeon that's one of my good friend's dads. And I had a gig over there, like a social distance gig in their lawn. So I went over there and he checked it out. And he pressed on the shoulder a little bit, just pressed it back a tiny bit. And he was like, yep, if I pushed a little harder right now, I could pop that out with my thumb. That was how loose it was. So the next day I went in for an appointment to see him, and I got an x-ray, and it looked like there was nothing broken really bad in it, but we wanted to get an MRI done. So a few days after that, I got an MRI done, and a few days after that, I got an appointment to see the doctor again so he could read the MRI and tell me what was going on. And that was yesterday. We went in, and he said, yeah, so he was taking me through a few of the MRI pictures, and he's like, yeah, it's very evident that you definitely dislocated it right out of the back. And my shoulder was so dislocated that it went right out the back and impacted my bone way back here. The ball socket of it impacted the bone way back here. And there's a tiny fracture on it, and it was really bruised. So I actually fractured the ball socket a little bit and bruised it really bad. So when we went into this meeting yesterday, we almost definitely thought I was gonna have to have surgery, because usually you break this thing called the labrum, which is basically this membrane inside the socket, as far as I know. And almost everybody tears that when they dislocate their shoulder, but I did it just at the right angle where I did not tear the labrum, but I did impact the bone. So that obviously hurt pretty bad and still really bruised in there. And I've got a tiny fracture on the ball socket, but that will heal itself. But by not tearing the labrum, I don't have to get surgery, which is an absolute saving grace, because I would have had to be in a sling with my left arm, way out forward like this, for a whole month. No drums with my left hand, no biking obviously, no riding my motorcycle obviously, so pretty much all the things I love to do. But I went in. My labrum was not torn, which was really surprising to all of us actually. So no surgery, but I still have to pretty much rest my shoulder for 5 more weeks. I can play drums, but no crossovers this way because that really starts to hurt. And same with the other way, so I have to kind of limit movement. But man, I'm so lucky I didn't have to have surgery. I was ridiculously close. I was in a sling for quite a few days after it. It's been like a week and a half now since the injury happened at first. But whew, that was a really crazy time. My shoulder was hurting really bad. I couldn't even sleep anywhere near this side because it was hurting so bad for a little while. Like I said, I was in a sling for a while. But basically the doctor told me if my arm is feeling all right outside of the sling, it might actually be better to keep it out of the sling because I won't lose any muscle mass. And it's probably good to keep it moving around at least a little bit while it's trying to heal like this. So yeah, I'm just really resting it for the next 4 weeks. I'm not going to be in a sling, but I gotta still be really careful with it. Obviously, there's so many crazy things going on in our country right now, and that's kind of why I kept this under the mat for the past week and a half. I didn't want to worry anybody, and there's so many other things we need to be focusing on as a society that I didn't want to bring this into the mix and have people worrying about it, have people thinking about this, when we really need to be focusing on Black lives and really overriding our entire police system right now in the United States. Anyways, yeah guys, I really dodged a bullet by not tearing that labrum, the inside of the socket there. But yeah, it's still really sore, still gotta rest it for a while. But thank God I can play drums and not have to be in that sling for a whole month without playing at all with my left hand. That'd be a big recovery period. So yeah, it's still 4.5 weeks until I can ride my motorcycle, ride my bike, and really play drums again. But at least I can still keep playing at least the snare drum with my left hand. And my right hand's totally mobile and my feet are totally mobile. Whew. So yeah, it was just a really unlucky type of crash. Definitely a weird one, guys. Yeah, I'm really happy I'm okay, and yeah, hopefully I'll be healing up pretty quick and be back to normal within the next month. So yeah, just a little short video update today, guys. Back in Golden, Colorado with this little studio in my room here. And I hope everybody's doing all right. Please keep being active in your community. Everybody needs to be active with this incredible police problem we have in the United States right now. Keep up to date on the news. There's such a big racism problem in the United States right now, and it needs to be addressed by every person possible, especially if you're white. So thank you guys so much again for watching today. And if you enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate it if you go down below and hit that subscribe button. It would really help me out. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.